Today on the Topping Show, Joy Reid is fired and has a breakdown that goes viral on social media. Al Berry has a cartoon about Social Security and paying people that are over 100 years old. Wisconsin politicians want to change words like mother to inseminated person. The IRS has an employee that loses their quote-unquote dream job and is roasted online. Lucid CEO abruptly resigns. Costco is now selling Corvettes. And Triumph Motorcycles has a recall. All of that, much more on the Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see the founder at least twice a day. Guys say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free flamethrower with every IT purchase. Yes, of course, it does, in fact, come with a fun Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the flamethrower button to learn more, or click the URL in the video description below. Lastly, trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Lucid CEO abruptly resigns. Oh, gee, I wonder why. Again, not financial advice. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stock ticker today. Spoiler alert, it's actually cheaper to buy Lucid stock than it is to buy a Starbucks coffee. Now, granted, that's not saying a lot since Starbucks coffee costs like $50 these days after you have to tip the person, but let's say it costs more than McDonald's coffee, which that'd be saying something. Now, again, not financial advice, they're currently trading for $2.26 per share, which, yeah, spoiler alert, that's not great. And what was their peak? I think they peaked at $52.94 per share. Yeah, it's like a really bad roller coaster. They've been going down for quite some time. 5-year trend, they've dropped, oh, geez Louise, they've gone down by 77.2%. I mean, year to date, down 28%, or sorry, 25%. In the past year, they're down 28%. And 6 months, they're down, geez Louise, 47.07%. And 1 month, they're down 17.82%. And week down, they're down 32%. So, yeah, the stock's not doing great. The market cap is down to, again, relative to the industry, a measly $6.79 billion. And yeah, their things aren't looking great, though. Again, thankfully, they have Saudi Arabia, which, spoiler, one of the major investors in Lucid. Saudi Arabia, I believe, is the retirement account over there, their pension fund. And Saudi Arabia wants to pivot to be a tech country, not oil, which we'll see how that pans out. But they're giving incentives for every manufacturer, every tech company to have a headquarters there in the region. And Lucid's only manufacturer site outside the US is, lo and behold, in Saudi Arabia. So again, not financial advice, but to me, you have a country with basically unlimited money that could potentially prop you up. I'm not saying they will, but to me, that's the only saving grace they have. Now, granted, unlike some EV companies, they have gotten to the point where they're actually producing vehicles. You see them about once every 3 years. I'm kidding. Although even in DFW on the road, I've seen one. And I go outside the house more than once a week. Don't get me wrong. But it's the thing where I see the local dealership or, the showroom, man, looks pretty nice and they have the cars there. But in terms of seeing one like without a dealer plate, I mean, that's pretty small anecdotal evidence. Now, going to motor1.com to dive into the specific article, where again, I believe, what was it, Q3 last year, Elon was roasting the compensation package for Lucid CEO because they're giving him a lot of cash, which, again, most CEOs prefer to get most of the compensation in stock because, again, the goal of them is to grow the business and grow the stock, the value for the shareholders. There's a very big mutual relationship and benefit for them to work harder, make better decisions. It's pretty common. I mean, famously, I think, who was it? Jeff Bezos took well, it's a lot of money, but I think it was about $56,000 per year salary. And I mean, shoot, most of them take $1. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Chris Smith over at motor1.com. There you can see the CEO of Lucid, which at least he did suit up. He did one thing that was right in his career. He did suit up, as all men should always. Everyone always looks good. And it's a great way to stand out from the crowd when you go shopping at the Walmart. I'm like the only guy wearing a suit when I'm getting groceries, but I partially digress. I got credited to Chris Smith, and Now, I guess I'll put one of those vehicles on the screen. They're a funny looking SUV, which, again, they'll probably sell a few. Then they say, quote, Lucid Motors CEO Peter Rolskin is stepping down. In an official press release from the automaker, the ex-boss will remain connected to the company as a... This is definitely just like a title. I don't think he's actually going to be doing anything. Very politically correct. Like, he's still going to help us out. Not really. He's going to be a, quote, strategic technical advisor to the chairman of the board, but will relinquish all his CEO duties effective immediately, which, come on, folks. Doesn't it remind you of Michael Scott from The Office? Assistant to the manager. He's going to be the strategic advisor to the chairman, which, again, that just makes me laugh out loud. Now, they continue saying, quote, Rolston has been with Lucid since the company's official launch in 2016. In a statement, he didn't explain why he decided to step down, aside simply saying it was time. And he says, quote, now that we, sorry, this is not supposed to be a joke. Now that we've successfully launched the Lucid Gravity, which it is in production, I'll give him that much, which, again, from going from prototype to actual manufacturing is a momentous, it's a big achievement, but these aren't exactly flying off the shelves yet. He says, I've decided it's finally the right time for me to step aside from my roles at Lucid. I'm incredibly proud of the accomplishments that the Lucid team have achieved together through my tenure of these past 12 years. We grew from a tiny company with a big ambition to a widely recognized technological world leader in sustainable mobility. He's not doing stand-up or a joke. Sustainable mobility? Your cars are disposable. In 10 years, they're trash. They go to the dump. Again, the Achilles heel for the EVs, every EV, is the lithium-ion batteries. Pretty dangerous, pretty hard to recycle, and not a great shelf life. My Honda Civic Si, which I'm biased, I love cars with 3 pedals, they should have that by default. It'll last decades, like my parents' Honda Accord, beauty of the gas engine. But I partially digress. Back to his quote. We went from got sustainable mobility. It has been an honor to have led and grown this remarkable, true world-class organization because Lucid has always been first and foremost about team effort. The time has come for me to hand the baton to that very team, which I guess is a kind of cliche high school sports balls metaphor. I guess there's no sports balls in the running, but nevertheless, it is technically a sport. They say his departure comes as the long-awaited Gravity is on the cusp of finally reaching buyers. This the Initially revealed in 2020, the production version debuted in late 2023, but we've yet to see it reach any dealerships. The Grand Touring trim and the starting price of $94,900 is available for order now, folks. Click that button. Or for free, click the subscribe button. Infinitely better ROI. They say the $79,900 Gravity Tour will become available in late 2025, which for business, that makes sense. You usually have the more profitable item out there first because, again, instead of the manufacturing, the tooling for the new vehicle, you want to do the most profitable thing first because, again, you need to pay for all of that. So I understand the order of release. I'm not going to blame him for that. They say Roland's departure also comes at a time when the future of fully electric vehicles is unclear, both politically and in terms of waning demand. In any case, he's leaving the company after a very strong year with 10,241 sales, which, again, is laughable from a major automotive manufacturer capability, but to their credit, is a 71% increase versus 2023. Now, CEO is going to be interim, is going to be Mark Winteroff. He says, quote, Lucid's technology leadership is now well established and our roadmap well defined. I'm honored to step into this role as we enter the next stage of our transformational journey, and I look forward to the capitalization on the tremendous opportunities this presents. Our team remains focused on further ramping production of the Lucid Gravity, preparing for the launch of 3 mid-sized platform vehicles, and continuing to develop our low-cost Atlas drive unit while we aggressively reduce our costs, which, again, to his credit, that is another issue with EVs. Most of them have major cost. Some companies like General Motors are able to offset those costs. So GM is losing money on the Chevy Blaze EVs. You hear about stories that are getting leases on a Chevy Blazer EV for like $100 per month, which, again, at that price point, GM is losing money, though they are manufacturing large quantities, so the cost is getting decreased in the aggregate, or the cost per unit does decrease. But yeah, we'll see if Lucid can make it. You also have record high interest rates for automobiles right now, and there's rumors that Trump is going to get rid of the $7,500 tax benefit for EV purchases. And also, the fastest growing consumer segment in terms of what cars people are buying in the United States is hybrids, which, again, I find abhorrent because it sells a battery and it's a disposable vehicle. However, that's where the market is moving. The rate of adoption for EVs is decreasing. Again, the sales are going up, but the rate is decreasing. So we'll see how much effect this has, and we'll see how viable Lucid could be in the future. I mean, they are growing, but they still have that comically high price point, which again, when Tesla first came out, they did too. But we'll see. Let me know in the comments. Do you think, and again, their stock is taking such a beating, do you think there's any way, do you think Lucid really has a chance of becoming a major automobile company? And have you ever seen one on the road? Let me know in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, you have Costco now selling Corvettes. Everything from gold bars, platinum bars, to TVs, to eggs, and now Corvettes. They really do have darn near everything. What doesn't Costco have these days? Well, an affordable share price. It's over $1,000 per share. Not financial advice. That is, yeah, a pretty penny to say the least. Just to say, yeah, I wish I bought this stock years ago. Then again, of course, hindsight is always 20/20 when it comes to investing. Now, this comes with thanks to Ronan Glone, which it has a pretty cool name. Glone, pretty unusual. Granted, I don't have much ground to stand on. Name's Topping, but nevertheless, he writes for The Drive, in which they say, quote, Costco has a deal on Chevrolet Corvette E-Rays. They say stocking up on cheap 4-pound bags of fish sticks isn't the only perk that continues with Costco membership. And there you can see the new Corvette with only 2 pedals, also known as automatic transmission, which is the first time since 1953? No. Corvette was introduced in 1953 with an anemic straight 6-cylinder engine. They fixed that quick, I believe, in 1958. But yeah, let's just say it's had a manual transmission for a majority of its lifetime. Now it's acquiesced to a boring, paddle-shifting automatic gearbox that, I'm not saying you feel dead inside when you're driving it, but I would rather walk. Though, again, that's just me. I know more than 98% of all new vehicles sold in the United States come with 2 pedals, also known as automatic. But I still contend there's no better feeling than downshifting into a corner on a track, or even just getting groceries and doing that. But nevertheless, they say, quote, the next time you visit Costco, you can gorge on unlimited free samples. Well, if you have low morals and values, that's another point of contention. Always return your shopping cart. I believe you shouldn't be allowed to shop at any store again if you don't return it properly. But also, free samples, come on, folks, don't gorge on them. That's just pathetically selfish and unethical. I always have a rule of thumb. Don't sample the product unless you're really seriously going to actually comprehend and contemplate buying it, then actually buy it. But I partially digress on my pet peeves of the day. They say, quote, you can pick up a year's worth of mac and cheese and get a good deal on the new Chevrolet Corvette. Warehouse members are eligible to claim a significant discount on some Corvettes, including the, I almost threw up in my mouth, the hybrid E-Ray, which is also one of many ineptitudes of General Motors. The whole industry is going for hybrids, and GM went all in on EVs. They make one hybrid right now. It's the Corvette, which, again, is an abomination of Corvettes, and I would argue an abomination of hybrids. Now, they say, quote, starting February 24th, 2025, so old news apparently, I don't know why they think, it's still good though, say, quote, shoppers at the executive membership, well, that sounds fancy, that sounds like button up high fancy, can claim a $3,000 discount when they buy or lease the 2024 or 2025 Corvette LT or E-Ray. According to the website Cars Direct, that figure drops to $2,750 for Gold Star and business members. For content, the 2025 LT carries a base price of $69,995, including destination, while the 2025 E-Ray starts at $108,595. You're paying more for less. I don't know how could they possibly spend that kind of money on that? Jeez Louise, $100,000 plus. Really? Can't fathom spending that much. Now they say, don't expect to see a shiny new Corvette parked next to the 40 cases of Kirkland Presco the next time you're out shopping. You still have to visit a Chevrolet dealer to order the new Corvette. To claim the discount, you need to register for the promotion on Costco's website, at which point you'll be able to print a certificate with a unique code. You could then show the certificate to the dealership of your choice, who will apply the discount when calculated into what you owe. Yeah, so is that really a good deal? They say calculate the discount into what you owe. So does that mean the dealership can still put a $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 markup over MSRP for a market adjustment? So, the dealerships, they've destroyed many good vehicles throughout the years, including the Ford Focus RS, which used to be awesome, but people didn't buy because of the absorbent markups. I'm so viscerally disgusted by that, I can barely speak. Well, it's just saying something. Now, They say, quote, and now the fine print. Only shoppers who are already Costco members as of February 23rd, 2025 can claim the discount, though they may transfer it to a member of their household. And the promotion is only valid if you take delivery by April 30th. Some buyers can claim and combine additional discounts according to Cars Direct. Buyers who currently own or lease a 2010 or newer Camaro can get a $2,500 discount when they buy or lease the 2024 Corvette. It's essentially Chevrolet's way of saying, please don't walk over to the Ford store and buy a Mustang. Well, you know why you should? Because Jim Farley, CEO of Ford, gives you what you want. He gives you a good old beautiful V8 with a stick shift, which the Corvette does have the V8. Well, you also have the hybrid bolted on in one edition, but nevertheless, it does have the V8, but it has the automatic transmission, which, And don't get me wrong, the new angular body panels look slightly more interesting than the previous generation, but I kind of think the Corvette peaked with the engine in front and a stick shift with the C7 Corvette, which hindsight's 2020. Those are going for like $90,000 to $100,000 over MSRP, which is ridiculous. Now, I see there's a 1,500 GM lease loyalty discount is available as well. If you qualify for the full Camaro Costco lease discounts, you can take $7,000 off a new 2024 Corvette. That's 10% 10% off MSRP. And since we're talking about the previous year model, you might be able to walk away into additional discounts if the dealership you're leasing from is desperate enough to get the car off its lot, which, yeah. Again, the interior looks pretty good, except for that the pillar, you have a silly touchpad thingamajig in the middle instead of a proper gear shift. They say Costco is also helping General Motors clear its EVs out of its inventory. Executive members can get $1,250 off the Equinox EV, the Blazer EV, the Silverado EV, the Sierra EV, and the Hummer EV. Gold Star members are eligible for discount as well, but it's capped at $1,000. They say this isn't the first time we've seen a major retailer join forces with an automaker. While Costco is merely dipping its toes into the world of offering discounts, Sears did a cannonball when it launched its car called the Allstate. It had to be sold through some of the stores through Southeast and Northeast. Released in 1952, the two-door sedan, which is a badge-engineered version of the Kaiser Franzer's Henry J. fitted with a handful of Sears-specific visual details, like the grille and upholstery. Sales were much lower than expected, and Allstate production ended after 1953, which, yeah, a great example of businesses. You have to always innovate and evolve, because at one time, Sears had literally darn near everything you needed. Fun fact, they also founded Discover, the credit card company that many people know today and some people use, and 3 stores accept. So interesting that they have this discounts on the Corvette. Now, yeah, again, it's one of those things, though. What's the dealership's going to charge? And, well, I guess pun not really intended, since one of them is a hybrid EV. But, yeah, I mean, Costco continues to offer darn near everything you need in life and more. So I wonder if they'll do it with a competing brand and how successful this will realistically be. When, again, a majority of things you buy at Costco, I would say pretty much everything there is under $5,000 on average. It's a pretty big uplift, but let me know your thoughts, because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the cultural part of the podcast, you have Joy Reid breaking down after her firing, which, oh my gosh, why was she fired? She was so talented and brilliant and intellectually, so well-spoken. Obviously not. She was rudimentary, to say the least. Even I speak better than her, which is saying something. Or perhaps not. We'll review right now. Let me know in the comments. This comes to us thanks to Benny Johnson on X, and he says, quote, "Into my veins! Joy Reid has a meltdown over being fired from MSNBC. I could watch this all day." And, well, to her credit, she actually has books in her background, which, as a bookworm, I kind of appreciate. Granted, I'm sure the books are mostly mentally vacuous, but she does have, that's kind of a cool background for your office. Got some books there. Although I'm suspicious. She has a bag that's named Book Nerd. Almost a little too much there. Is this like when LeBron James pretends to read when he has a book in his hands? So many times reports come up, he's always on page 1. And when the reporter asks him about the book, he can't answer a single question. Nevertheless, let's see what she has to say.
My show had value. And that, I'm sorry. That what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I say this is kind of like being on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that
That's how you don't have too much money in your life. You have an assistant, well, that'd be kind of nice, but she has tissue paper, which, where's that napkin? I've never bought a napkin in my life. I've made it this far in life. I've determined that I never will. They're just overpriced paper towels, which is just an overpriced t-shirt. But nevertheless.
the moment that of guilt that I felt that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, that or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing.
Yeah, that Stop Asian Hate campaign stopped really, really quick. It shouldn't have, but yeah, that is an issue, but they stopped pretty quick. I suspect perhaps because the perpetrators.
But come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them. Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution,
About Biden?
that is injurious to our liberty, you know, defending books that people find inconvenient, you know, that Nicole Hannah-Jones put into our spirit, that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country, whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And you know, I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud.
So according to the Grok, or the Grok, if I mispronounce it like me, it'd be cool, on X or Twitter, says Joy Reid's net worth is estimated to be around $4 million as of 2025, based on various reports. Others have it ranging up to 21 million, which, again, they could not have been making a profit on Joy Reid. I can't help but suspect a lot of people just hate watch her, which, again, that worked probably most famously for, who's that washed up douchebag? Ooh, Howard Stern. I mean, the joke used to be back in the day, people who like Howard Stern watch him for an hour, people who hate Howard Stern watch him for 2 hours. I mean, that's the thing, people hate watch. Now, this got about 918,000 views and 27,000 likes. One of the first comments coming from Ginny saying, quote, "No sympathy for the racist." Here's a 38-second clip of Joy Reid hanging out in her alleged book room.
There's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears.
And don't cry.
Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, it's like, Green Waterworks. White men can get away with that too. And it has the same effect.
My show had value, and that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that got 357 likes. Haley Cruiser has a meme of Joy Reid, and it says, "In celebration of Black History Month, Joy Reid is now history." Getting 186 likes. Ginny also says, "See ya, wouldn't want to be ya." And it's Joy Reid the Trump hair, and it says, "Bye bye, learn to code." Getting 306 likes. Reply by mail says, "Joy got canned, that's it, that's the meme." Got 195 likes. Let's see. Yeah, "You're worthless." That's a harsh name. I mean, I'm a fan of some self-deprecating humor, but this person's handle on the X is quite literally, "You're worthless." Or no, I guess that's meaningful against others. It's not, but nevertheless, this picture of Joy Reid says, "The new face of racism," getting 254 likes. Let's see. Yeah, Wu Hong Lo saying Reid was paid to push the Democrat agenda. It says census records, geez Louise, can't speak today. Well, not saying too much compared to the average episode, but nevertheless. So let's quote, "Census records show 4 million slaves in 1860 were all owned by Democrats," getting 52 likes. Jared Marsh says, "Well, we'll miss your Trump wig. Sad day." Getting 91 likes. Let's see. Jesus is awesome says, quote, "Next, please." This picture of Whoopi Goldberg getting 89 likes. Haley Cruiser has a picture of Joy Reid with AI working at McDonald's, getting 38 likes as well. Haley Cruiser also says Joy Reid is accusing MSNBC of racism for firing her during Black History Month. Well, she is black and her show is history, getting 12 likes, which, again, it's not just MSNBC, also CNN, most of the major news networks, well, also known as trash, their ratings are down more than 50%, which, again, they make most of their money from advertisements in the deep state. Kidding, or not. But if your viewership goes down by 50%, the advertisers are probably going to want to discount on their sales or, their placements of ads by about 50%, if not more. I really debate how sustainable those news networks are these days. Although calling them news is perhaps too generous, more like propaganda. We also have Florida One saying not even turning on the volume, good riddance, getting 144 likes. Jamie says she brought it on herself with her racism and fake news, getting 52 likes. Anyone sticking up for Joy Reid? Not too much. Jeremiah says, oh, this is great. I'm not sure who that male actor is, but she's standing next to an actor, and he's saying, I guess there's always OnlyFans, getting 16 likes, which, I think there should be a reverse OnlyFans. I think they're, you pay, I would actually pay for her to put more clothing on. We might have a business idea right here. Let me know in the comments, folks. That could be a thing. But, again, no one is too surprised that Joyless Reid is finally done with MSNBC. Now, the real question is, will she actually try to start her own show like Don Lemon has, which is, for him, he gets 10 to 13,000 views per video, which is not sustainable fiscally speaking. I don't even think as an individual, unless he has some type of sponsorships. His career went off the deep end, obviously. But does Joy Reid have enough following where she can be an independent reporter or propagandist? Let me know in the comments, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news, you have an Al Berry cartoon on Democrats being upset over Social Security and fraud being stopped. And to me, this is going viral. This is probably one of the best YouTubers I've seen grow from a cartoon perspective. I've been seeing him all the time with the shorts and the YouTube, and all these cartoons get funnier and funnier. Now, again, his YouTube show is called Al Berry, ALBARRY, 2 words. And without too much further ado, this is called Elizabeth Warren Wants Elon Musk to stop investigating Social Security. And small but funny detail, one of my favorite, I don't know, it's just extra funny that Maxine Waters is a puppet for Chuck Schumer. Which, yeah.
Elon, you have no right to take away Social Security benefits from millions of Americans over 120 years old. That's right, it's a constitutional crisis. That's right, Maxine. It's a threat to our democracy.
Chuck, there's clearly evidence of fraud happening in Social Security. How else do you explain the checks going to people 140 years old? Who are these people supposed to be, vampires?
Not exactly. But the answer is actually much simpler than fraud. You see, there are things in this world, dead things. Many of them relying heavily on disability checks.
Chuck, if dead people are receiving disability checks, that's fraud.
Let's just say because someone is dead, that doesn't mean they're no longer eligible for Social Security.
Are you guys trying to say they're ghosts receiving benefits?
It's the only logical explanation besides fraud, which is clearly unlikely.
Can you prove it to me?
Yes, we can. Meet us at the Congressional Cemetery tonight at midnight. Maybe once you meet someone who depends on Social Security checks, you'll change your mind about cutting them off. Go ahead, Elizabeth. Right. Stopping fraud in Social Security is somehow anti-democracy.
Who dares disturb my gay kissing? Oh, it's you. Where the hell is my Social Security check? I have bills to pay, you know.
I'm working on it, Benjamin. You see, Elon, without Social Security payments, homosexual ghosts like Benjamin Martin can't afford to eat.
Wait a minute. You're stopping my benefits because you think it's impossible to be 130? I'm 287 years old. You must be an idiot. Thank God I have highly ethical geniuses like Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer to watch my back, or who knows what else you do.
Priceless. And that should get millions of views. It only got, still pretty good. 206,000 views and 4.7 likes. One of the first comments coming from David Daly saying, quote, it's like South Park but based in DC, getting 282 likes. True. We have Alex Dream 9 says, it's sad when satire is closer to the truth than politicians, getting 526 likes. Dark 7800 says, the louder they yell, the more guilty they are. Expose them all, getting 44 likes as well. Let's see here. I also have William Shaw saying, what's she trying to hide? MAGA and A says, quote, Maxine Waters, the hand puppet, is just lovely. If you look inside, you can see her bank account. You're the most hilarious, my dude. Got 215 likes. Dave Dorian also says the Chuck Schumer walk, getting 87 likes as well. Phil says, beautifully done. The Maxine puppet was great, getting 27 likes. Which I think that's got to be the top theme here. You have Paladin saying, quote, Maxine and Chuck's puppet is just a nice touch, getting 6 likes. Which, again, is even extra hilarious when, again, after he stops using Maxine, to talk, he just tosses her on the ground. Yeah, George Bedore saying the voice sounds just like South Park actors, getting 5 likes. Nick Cager says Mel Gibson from The Patriot was a nice touch, LOL, getting 6 likes. Sweet Mama G says Elizabeth Chance, the best was by the power of 23andMe, I'm 1/1000th Cherokee. Getting 97 likes. And a reminder, she defrauded college to get a scholarship. I'm sure she'll she'll do the ethical right thing and give the money back someday. Ha! Kidding, of course not. Yeah, comes to cultural, I think Al Berry is probably going to be one of the best cartoonists for 2025. Definitely check out his channel. It is hilarious. Now, going over to the political part podcast, you have Wisconsin wanting to change terms like mother to inseminated person as leftist insanity seems to grow. Now, this comes to us thanks to not just Libs of TikTok, but was retweeted by Elon Musk. And he says, quote, hey, mom, I mean inseminated person. This is crazy. And Libs of TikTok said, quote, WTF is going on in Wisconsin? Which, do I need to mispronounce it just to be pejorative for them? Wisconsin. From the Midwest, I should be able to do it properly, actually. But nevertheless, lost on me. Now, this says, quote, Wisconsin's budget recommendation, 2025 to 2027. Word previously used wife or husband changed to spouse. Word previously used mother changed to inseminated person. Words previously used paternity changed to patronage. Yeah, I can't pronounce that right. Nevertheless, word previously used father changed it to natural parent. Words previously used man or woman changed to person. And this should go more viral. It shouldn't. It didn't, but it still got 32.7 million views and 22,000 likes, which, yeah, all this newspeak reminds me of the, probably one of the top 10 books in history, 1984 by George Orwell, which, it's a little bit thick in terms of the book, so, and the text, but if you want the same concepts for kids, I would say Animal Farm by George Orwell is much easier to digest. Simpler vernacular, fewer page count, and again, it gets all the same points across of not trusting the government. One of the main themes in 1984 was newspeak, where they basically rewrite all language. And that's exactly what they're trying to do in Wisconsin, which, yeah. I was going to say, yeah, no reason not to live there. They have, what do they have in Wisconsin? Harley Davidson, Epic Software, and Badgers or something? Cheese. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Cheese. Yeah, that's my knowledge of Wisconsin. Kind of kidding. Now, again, I got 32.7 million views and 22,000 likes. One of the first comments coming from it is Rob Coates saying, natural parent, that's offensive, dad is dad, getting 4.9 thousand likes. Steven says, is this real and current, getting 715 likes. And Liv's TikTok has a link to Wisconsin, is this San Francisco? No, San? That's the company website. It says Wisconsin governor wants to remove gendered words, mother and father from law, and there's a video of him speaking and dives more into the details. Yep, it got 1.3 thousand likes. Paul Zazupa says, go, wokeism is ruining everything as usual, getting 447 likes. Terry Dickinson says, quote, our society is crumbling. We now have to throw away marriages, throw away babies, and we have thrown away our morals and values. It's time for a revolution of change. Save America, getting 94 likes. You also have Woke Hunter saying, quote, bring back the mental asylum. It's the picture of the mental asylum from The Simpsons and says, where the woke lived before the 70s, getting 1.3 thousand likes. So it has a picture of the Wisconsin governor, but they added just a poster board next to him that says, I'm a douchebag, getting 79 likes. Fact check true. Let's see. Ann Gables says, quote, an outright erasure of fundamental human identity by stripping away words like mother, father, man, and woman. They are not promoting inclusivity, but rather eliminating the very essence of family and biological reality. These changes don't unify, they dehumanize, which I think is the whole point. And it's not good. They got 708 likes as well. And again, not seeing any contrarian comments thus far. Kyle Becker says, quote, please Democrats, and I mean this in all sincerity, double down on this kind of rhetoric. It's a kind of insanity. This is insanity popular It is insanity, popular in flyover states. People love it, and we are clamoring for it. Inseminated persons of the world unite, getting 589 likes, which, yeah, it took me a second there. That's sarcasm, folks, from him. Let's see. Michelle, America First, says, quote, the governor is unhinged, a radical left psychopath who obviously learned nothing from the 2024 election. Wisconsin, seriously? Getting 238 likes, which, yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's good for Republicans and Libertarians because, again, I think the average person is going to see this and think, what the hell, Wisconsin? Have you lost your mind? So, I mean, politically, I think it's going to help the other parties out. Let's see. We'll do one more. Relaxing News says, quote, how is inseminated person not the most offensive thing ever to a woman? Getting 2.6 thousand likes, which, yeah, that's I mean, it certainly sounds quite crass, even if it's technically true. And that's really, ironically, is, left always says the right is weird. Yeah, what they're trying to do here, and now changing words, that I would say that is certainly weird. But let me know. I mean, other states have done this. I mean, Minnesota even. I mean, in terms of cultural decay and political change, I mean, Minnesota's changed so much. Their flag no longer looks like the even state of Minnesota. It's a Somalian flag to reflect all the folks that they brought over there. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have an IRS employee sad that they lost their quote-unquote dream job and gets roasted on the social media. Now, this also comes to us thanks to Benny Johnson on X. And he says, quote, recently, laid-off IRS employee breaks down on live television because he lost his quote-unquote dream job. I feel numb, lost, and confused. No, this is not a parody, unquote, which I'm sure that means we'll be laughing ear to ear and smiling ear to ear. This is originally credited to the Daily Sneed and TikTok. Let's hear what this. I'm sure this is a very hardworking IRS employee, very ethical. Didn't at all go after persecute people on the right and conservatives when Obama was in charge. Probably wasn't part of any of those controversies. But let's dive on in.
A former IRS employee right here in Houston, he was one of thousands of federal employees abruptly laid off this week.
He sat down exclusively with Michelle Choi to share how he's feeling and his message to those in power.
Nothing there. Nope. Nothing there.
As he waits for an official termination letter to arrive at his front door, Jason Charles shared the toll the last 48 hours has taken on him.
I can't believe this is happening, and it happened so fast. Like I said, I was just in training. I waited 4 months to go to training, just to be fired.
He's one of 6,000 plus federal employees who work for the Internal Revenue Service fired this week as part of mass layoffs happening under the Trump administration. The majority of those workers, like Charles, were probationary workers employed for less than a year. Charles told us more than 24 employees were laid off from his office here off Gessner. He says it took over a year to get his dream job as a tax-exempt officer dealing with nonprofit organizations and compliance.
I wanted to serve the people.
And despite recent news, he'd held out hope his job would be spared.
How are you feeling?
Numb, confused, sad, angry, lost.
When did you get the official notice? Or was there an official notice?
We never got official notice. I got word from managers that had to be in office yesterday, and we waited there all day until maybe 12, 1 o'clock. And then it was kind of like a firing range. They lined us up, took our equipment, and sent us home.
His pride and passion taken away.
Excited. I was so excited.
Heck was on his computer there.
Home.
His pride and passion taken away.
Excited. I was so excited to learn the job.
No man is this upset because they lost a job. You might get depressed, but for like a day or two, but put on some real pants and get out there and get your job. He's wearing sweatpants, folks. It's like they busted. It's not like it's an expose. They rushed the door. He prepared for this interview. Like he knew they were coming, and he chose sweatpants to wear. That's a big red flag to me. And of course, the sweatpants, ironically, are also red.
I was telling my management I was going to be the best. They can count on me.
He's crying.
And it's not like I have no say so. Like they just toss you away.
I didn't add that. Is that really? Is that it? Is that the fire alarm?
I have no say-so. Like, they just toss you away. And I thought corporate America was like this, not the government. I thought the government takes care of their people.
When asked why he
Definitely
would speak out now,
This was the only way I had a voice.
Oh no.
I can't go to Washington and go in the Oval Office. I can't contact my congressman. He's too busy. He doesn't want to hear me. I try to reach out. This is the only way I can get people to hear what happened.
according to a statement sent to KHOU 11, the National Treasury Employees Union president representing the Houston area believes more than 200 people working for the IRS offices in Houston have
Not
been
enough.
fired just this week. These layoffs, of course, happening in the heart of tax season.
Every department has a probationary employee. Every department will be impacted.
Good.
I don't know how severely, but people will start seeing the impact soon.
Charles believes there will be a ripple effect.
Do you want your job back?
I would love my job back.
Fire alarm.
I would love it back. To serve the American people and talk to people that I've talked to, I would love my job back.
And has this message for the president.
Let us work. Let us do what they employed us to do, what we took our oath to do.
In Houston, Michelle Choi, KHOU 11 News.
And you can hear Michelle's extended interview with Jason streaming right now on KHU 11 Plus. Be sure to download.
Or hear me out, folks. You could become a contributing member of society and go to the private sector, where again, there is a big demand and big need for tax services because the government steals so much and screws over so many people, and the tax code is so ridiculously, disgustingly complex. It does help to have some expertise assist you with those taxes, personally and professionally. And yeah, I can't help but think he's probably one of those employees who's really happy to get a job where you work like 1 hour a day and do nothing. Again, if you have an exceptional skill set, you won't, on average, you won't be unemployed very long. Again, if he's an expert, a tax wizard or whatever you want to call it, I mean, he would get a job, especially this time of the season. I mean, I work with a couple of accounting firms. They're ramping up hiring. I mean, they need more folks, right? Especially right now. And again, the private sector, you do have to work hard, though. More often than not unionized. But yeah, he is this is a man who's, and again, if you worked at a company for 20 years, I can see how you can be heartbroken. That becomes part of your identity. After 20 years, I can understand you being, upset, being heartbroken. But you're a temporary employee for a government job. Now, I'm sure he was probably upset because, again, a government job usually means, put in the least amount of effort, get most amount of, output in terms of payments and pensions and healthcare and all that stuff that you get in the government. But I don't know why I just find it extra comical he's wearing sweatpants. And again, maybe someone edited this video, but like the smoke detector went off multiple times. Now, this only should have got millions of views. It only got 500,000 views and 8,000 likes. One of the first comments coming from Chuck Costello saying, quote, "Should have done your job," gained 166 likes. Dog memes for freedom, A+ marketing. They did in fact use a meme as a picture of a fat man, an average American, standing behind a small tree. And it says government agencies trying to hide their waste from Doge. Gained 180 likes. Information Battle Maiden, unique name. Has a picture of a guy that looks sad. It looks like it's labeled government employee. I got some work done this week. And the gal goes, "Did you work or did you cry about Trump and Elon all week?" And he says, "I cried about Trump and Elon all week." Gained 121 likes. Live Free Opinion says, quote, "Crimea River abolished the entire unconstitutional agency." Gained 141 likes. Fun fact, there was no income tax before World War II. Then it was voluntary. Like, yeah, we need some money for the war. You could volunteer to give us some money to help out. Then they said, okay, we're going to have this income tax, but only for the war. Then after, we'll get rid of it. And like pretty much every single tax ever, yeah, they never got rid of it. And it's still around like a tumor to this day, stealing from all Americans. It's ridiculous. Yeah, up to 35% of your income just stolen like that on a federal level. And then also, you also have local sales tax. Diesel income tax on a state level, heaven forbid. They got sales tax, telecom tax, alcohol tax, tobacco tax, gasoline tax, capital gains tax, property tax, estate tax. We're getting robbed left and right. It's ridiculous and disgusting. Yeah, imagine having pride working for the IRS, Jesus. PNW Scott says maybe they should be questioning why Biden decided to create 85,000 IRS jobs that were never needed before. Oh, don't forget. Well, those are also armed IRS agents with apparently more armaments than the U.S. Marines. He says, you took the job when it was president-elect said he would be cutting those useless and wasteful jobs, and now you're surprised? My spouse was offered an IRS job and declined. Got 114 likes. The Saturn V says, tell me someone did it at 2:07, and they have a picture of the smoke alarm. Got 22 likes and actually some comments. I wonder. Black Metal says, I thought for sure that was a parody part. LOL MFAO, getting 2 likes. A lot of people saying I was saying the same thing. Had to go back and rewatch because I wasn't sure it was my TV or not. Getting 1 like. Yeah. Jolly Roger says, quote, is it your dream to shake Americans using the authority of the government? You probably shouldn't work for the IRS, getting 68 likes. Yeah. I also have Corey saying, he's going to be one of thousands at this rate. We don't need IRS agents. Sorry, bud. There's other jobs out there for accountants getting 116 likes, which, again, if you're an actual skilled accountant, I mean, there are almost an unfathomable amount of opportunities out there because, again, of how complex and burdensome the U.S. tax code is. I mean, it is one of the biggest industries out there. So, but given his attitude, I can't help but think he probably doesn't want to go work for the private sector. And hopefully, I mean, Trump just keeps making the cups deeper and deeper and deeper and just fires more and more folks because I think the winning has just begun. But let me know your thoughts and comments because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Triumph recalling their motorcycle. Yet another reason to buy a Honda. Less recalls. But I'm my little bias. I love my little Honda Civic SI with the stick shift. Maybe I'll get a motorcycle one of these days. This comes to us thanks to the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission, which perhaps one of the only few valuable government websites I've ever heard of. Now, they say, quote, the Triumph TF250X off-road motorcycles recalled due to an injury hazard imported by Triumph Motorcycles of America. And, well, I gave him too much praise, the government website, but the photo is as blurry as a 1990s dial-up PC, which back in the day, you had to almost like murder the computer to get on the internet, or at least it sounded like it. Let's see, there's the right switch. There's their off-road dirt bike, which again is what everyone actually calls the darn things. Now, it looks like this is, it's a quote, this recall involves model years 2024 and 2025 Triumph TF250X closed course competition motorcycles. The black motorcycles have VINs between BP 6028 and CC 7868 located on the left side of the steering head. Triumph is printed on the seats. Consumers can check if their VIN is included in the recall at triumphmotorcycles.com/owners/recalls. Which, yeah, that's not great news. Especially, yeah, people already joke about motorcycles being a death trap. Yeah, just going to lean, I think those jokes will just continue. But they say, quote, the issue is the right-hand plastic switch cube can crack when exposed to brake fluid, causing a short circuit that starts the motorcycle unexpectedly, posing an injury hazard, which, yeah, I was going to say, talk about false start. And, yeah, I was going to say brake fluid. Yeah, that's kind of important for a vehicle. Most of the, you kind of want that in a vehicle. And let's see here. There's a picture of the motorcycle's right switch cube, which, yeah, I don't know what kind of Chinesian plastique you're using in this case, but, yeah, probably not the best. Now, you know, that quote, consumers should immediately stop using the recalled off-road motorcycles, disconnect the battery, and contact authorized Triumph motorcycle dealers for a free repair, including a free replacement of the right-hand switch cube. They note that Triumph Motorcycles is contacting all known purchasers directly. The firm has received 16 reports of the cube switch cracking. 7 of those resulted in the motorcycle starting unexpectedly, which, again, it's you can laugh at it because, again, the silver lining of the situation is no one's got hurt, no one's passed away due to this specific business blunder. Now, they note that these were sold between July 2023 and December 2024 nationwide for about, geez Louise, $9,500 plus the extortion tax, usually with the sales tax where you live, which, geez Louise, I mean, that's half of a nice Honda S2000, which maybe that should be my metric for when I'm buying things in life. One of the best underrated vehicles out there. I wish Honda would do it again and make a nice coupe with 2 doors and stick shift, but they killed that with the Honda Civic. Used to be a coupe, but now it's only 4-door, which is a business blunder in and of itself. Now, they know that these were specifically manufactured in Thailand, and the recall number is 25-144. Again, 25-144. And again, especially, I mean, again, there's always a suspicion that other countries have lower quality products and goods, which, again, the best way to rebuttal that argument, well, there's some valid concerns, is usually like the iPhone and pretty much every electronic that's modernly made by Foxconn in other countries. But another issue is, decreased quality assurance. Some companies don't, they import these goods when they're checking out those factories, and those subcontractors don't do enough due diligence when they're looking at the materials and components. So again, I'm not sure who's in charge of the quality department when they're testing this vehicle and putting it through its ringer, so to say, to not notice this, big issue. So gotta say, Triumph, that is certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you everyone for taking time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.